And welcome to our third quarter investment update. It's been a great quarter for stocks. We can see the Canadian stock market's up, international stocks are up, US stocks are up. The only thing that's down here is the global real estate trust. We can see that large company stocks have done well, small company stocks have done well, and so has growth and value. If we go and look at a little longer term perspective, we can see over the last 20 years, or even the last 10 years, Canadian stocks are up 8.5%, US 4.7, international 5. If we go and look short term, Canadian stocks are up this year 7%, US stocks 25, and international 29%. The only negative we see on the year is bonds right here. And let's take a look at something we often hear talked about is the yield curve. And if we look here, this is going out 3 months, and this is 30 years, and this represents the yield curve. And we can see in June of last year to June of this year, the yield curve has gone up from about 2.4% to 2.9%. So a 50 basis points increase. And of course, as we know, as interest rates go up, bond returns come down. Now, as we did in the last quarter, let's take a look at the dimensional balanced fund and just apply this to some real life investments. And we can see here, again, the fund is made up of 1/3 Canada, 1/3 US, 1/3 international, and then 40% is in bonds. And we can see the 1 year return on this fund is about 11%. If we go and look at the quarterly returns, international markets are up 10%, Canadian up 7.9, emerging markets, US, and then the bonds are here. If we look out over 1 year, it's international, US, emerging markets, Canadian equity, and then bonds. And again, the investment grade fixed income is the only negative return there. I always like to look at this one. So this is, different countries and how they've done over the quarter. Spain and Finland have done well. US, interesting, very well on the year, but on the quarter just up 3.2%. And Canada, which didn't have the greatest year going, in the last quarter was up 7.9%. Sort of interesting over here are the emerging markets. We can see emerging markets haven't been that successful over the last quarter. And if we break this down into just the Canadian equity, we can see over the quarter it's up 7.9, beating the index. But if we look over 1 year, it's slightly below the index. If we go to US, we can see the US over the quarter is up 3%, beating slightly below the index. And over the course of the year, the dimensional US component is beating the index by about 3%. And we look at the international. Again, the numbers are here. Again, beating the index in both the quarter and over the year. And if we look at the emerging markets, slightly below the index, but then above the index on a 1 year return. And finally, if we looked at fixed income or bonds, we can see the bonds over the last quarter up 0.8%, but on the year we're just still slightly negative. But overall, last quarter was very good, and we're having a very good year.